not bad. Okay, let's see how steady we are. That's not too bad. I'm gonna pull this a little bit closer. Hello, everyone. If you're catching the replay, welcome. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark. He's on the porch, and this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Welcome back, and happy Thursday. And this is actually my Friday, so I'm gonna be taking tomorrow off. Can you even see that? That's not bad. I'm taking tomorrow off. I worked overtime 2 days this week, so I have extra time that I either needed to use or flex or get paid for, so I'm going to take the time. So, hey Andy, what's up? So I'm very excited. Personally, I'm very, very excited. It's just, you know, it's just how it is. Hey Mike. Hello, hello. Well, for tonight's dinner, we are having Little Caesars, which I had a craving for last night, so I got one to spill over today. I'm having an orange and some pretzels. Nothing fancy. Nothing terribly I mean, the Supreme Pizza is not the lightest thing in the world, but at least I'll be eating something that had, you know, water and fiber in it, I guess. So that goes. A little better. So, I hope everyone's doing well. Like I said, it's been a busy week here in the Smokeysteveandmarc household. The weather's been gorgeous. I mean, it's been beautiful outside. It was, I want to say 70 a couple days ago. And then it's just been getting nicer and nicer. Hey, Wadana. Hey, Mr. McBeebs. Have a good night at work. Don't let that robot cleaning thing get you. No. So much for an afternoon eating. My 4-year-old grandson made a surprise visit. Oh, fun! You guys are too classy for the state of the world right now, but I need the support. We're here! Rain, shine, red, blue, orange. We're here. We were here through COVID, and we were here through, you know, the last presidential election and lived through that. So we'll be around. We're a scrappy little channel. We'll be around. But happy to provide some sanity. Like I said, it's beautiful weather here. Mark's been outside. There's already bulbs starting to come up in the garden, which is cool. He'll be excited to get outside now. And now that the weather's warmer, you know, it's probably more comfortable for him. When he's outside editing, like, I'm doing a live, so this needs, like, next to nothing as far as editing, but if he's doing an actual live, hey, Susie, an actual video, he'll stand out there for hours chain smoking while he's editing, and that's just how he does, but, mini samosas. That sounds delicious. We almost got Indian food last night, but Mark doesn't like it. So, he doesn't want it. He says it stinks up the house. So I waited till he was on vacation to order it, and it was delicious, and I would do it again. But just leftovers. I said nothing fancy. Hey, Christine. Yeah, Susie, I hear you. So, the week was good. It was busy. I worked half a day Wednesday. I only worked like 5 hours. I left a little bit early because Tuesday I had to start at 6 and I didn't get home until 6 a.m. to p.m. So it was a long day. I was teaching mental health first aid, which is an 8-hour class, and I have a co-instructor that I do it with. But the class was starting at 9 o'clock in Allentown. Scranton is not Allentown. Plus, you want to get there in time to set up. So, got up early. I was sick as hell between having like some mental health stuff and maybe like a little bit of tummy something. I don't know. I walked over to work. It's not that far. Had the keys, warmed up the car, waited for my coworker because we're carpooling to go to Allentown. And I couldn't help it. I just got... While we were in the middle of the conversation, I'm like, if you'll excuse me just 1 second. And then came back. I'm like, excuse me one more second. I always had a nervous tummy as a kid. I got up every day and threw up before I went to school in 2nd grade because I hated my teacher. It was blamed on postnasal drip, but I knew what was going on. So, and teachers, God love you. I can't imagine, after one day on my feet 8 hours, up, down, standing, talking, pretending to get people involved in stuff, trying to inspire X, Y, or Z, it's exhausting. The last thing I wanted to do when I got home was talk to anybody at all. My back hurt, everything hurt. So I give props to teachers, proctors, instructors, anybody who's got to be up and moving and talking and engaged for any long period of time like that. So, hey, Irene. Oh, cool. The background's Mark's. We're coming up to St. Patty's. I think if you saw the community post, and he might have mentioned in his last video, a giveaway that he's been doing that will be going on through St. Patrick's Day. So a chance at some giveaways at least. So that's what I hope you're working on. That and the Little Caesar thing. These were delicious. Crazy Puffs. Not bad, I gotta say. I had a couple. They were okay. They had cheese and bacon in them. And Mark thought the pizza was a little spicy. Hey, Jamie. And I thought maybe it was the sausage or something. Little Caesar's sauce is a little bit spicy. We got from Little Caesar's. And it was spicy. I was surprised. So, we had that, the cheesy things, and then I just got soda. I didn't get dessert. Mark made a dessert that he'll probably make again on the channel. So, never had anything that bad. Flu, I suspect. Everyone seems to have had it. Everyone in my circle at work is sick with something. Everyone's missing a day. Not feeling well, stay home. Respiratory stuff, stomach stuff. It's just hit and miss. Now, the whole department wasn't wiped out in one shot, but we've all been taking our turns being plec. So, but I had that going off and on for about 3 weeks, and then it went away. It didn't happen again after that. So, hell if I know. Bottom line was, though, I got sick, and I'm like, okay, the day goes on. We continue. So, gum, soda, coffee, sipped so I don't throw it all back up again, and then got where we were going, and then just got together. So, reasonably priced. I thought so, Mike. Like, they weren't crazy expensive for, I guess, sort of a novelty. I guess they are. But they were tasty. They were good. There was a special, if I bought another pizza, which we wouldn't need, I would have gotten those for free. Now, it's not really free if I have to pay for another pizza, but I could be doing some Chantal math. Why don't you guys send me money to my personal PayPal? And then I promise I'm going to take that money and go buy whatever you want me to eat, and I will eat it. I can't. The status of her channel. We'll be doing a video on Sunday, and I think the plan is to do a recorded video, so there won't be a live Sunday at 6. It'll be a recorded one we'll probably put out. It's usually evening, 8, 9, 10, something like that. I try to get whatever she is up to as close to the video as possible. So we'll see what that looks like on Sunday. But fair lady. And I have a couple friends that like send me information regularly to stay updated with how she's doing. And every week it's like it would be it's embarrassing how not like new and exciting it is. It's all the most kind of, news that she has in her life. I'm going to lose weight. I'm not going to lose weight. My husband loves me. My husband hates me. Your husband hates you. Oh. Hey, Shauna. It's good to be seen. But teaching is hell. And there's a lot of sensitive material in the mental health first aid curriculum that I teach. So there's a lot in it about unaliving, about non-unaliving self-injury, psychosis, how to treat someone with a panic attack, all that kind of stuff. So she raged at her mud, so that's different. Yeah. I thought we were friends. Bitch, you're too selfish for friends. You don't have friends. You have well-wishers, people that don't think poorly of you, and then haters. I mean, everything hurts, so no. Good for me. Oh. Well, soon enough. It's always stunning to me when I teach a class how the knowledge gap is so deep when it comes to issues like mental health and drug and alcohol concerns and advocacy and self-care and all that stuff. It's just weird. Friends don't serve your needs. She's a taker. Yeah, it's all transactional. I mean, so many relationships are, but it's her whole life is quid pro quo. And if she's done anything for you once, you owe her endlessly for life. So, hey, Beth. Hello, hello. I had a sandwich, I think, last time we sat down. I ripped it into 1,000 pieces by the time we were done. The eating in the same old, Shauna. But beyond that, too, she's just these mukbangs where she would sit down and eat like, a monster. Little Caesars did. Well, good of Little Caesars. That's cool, Kathy. The mukbangs aren't making her money anymore. It was, she's making 6,000, 7,000 views a video. She used to make probably from AdSense, I don't know, $75 to $200 a video, depending on the size of it. Now, what could she be making? So, what could she possibly be doing? The class was only about 20 people. It wasn't that big. The largest class size that the Mental Health First Aid Association does is 30. And you can teach it alone. I've never had to. I could. Thing is, though, I'm really well versed in about half the curriculum. And the other half, I'm okay. I can read and I know what it says, but it's not bad. You can break them up into groups and do activities. I personally hate group activities. I've never liked group activities. So AdSense has been abysmal lately. Yeah, we're still getting we get a check every month, but they're getting, unless you have a ton of time to devote to the channel. Like if your channel is your full-time job and you're not doing anything else, then yeah, lulls in times of year are hard and it'll put a hole in your pocket. Luckily, we supplement our main incomes with the YouTube stuff. So even when the math isn't good, views are okay, and subs are okay, but views aren't worth as much certain times of the year. Or in some videos they are, and some they aren't. So it depends. It depends. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And we're eating pizza. So. Oh my god, I forgot the lunar eclipse. That's right. That is tonight. I'll make sure to let him know. He'll be outside, so. Hey, Annie, how are you? It was beautiful, Shauna. It was beautiful Today it was nice in the afternoon. We had a little bit of a cold wind, but it's that time of year. It was funny, in the newspaper here, we had 2 giant blizzards, one in 1993 and then there was one in 96, and they occurred this time of year. So, I know, it just called for it. I was like, I just want pizza. I just want to be 5 and be comforted with pizza. And soda. But I'm having my fruit like a good boy. So, I'm having something semi-healthy mixed in. Sort of. Of course, between the rest of this is all starch and dairy. I'll probably just get all puffy. So it goes. Oh, yeah. March is a fickle month. Up and down in temps all month. Yeah. Barbecue pizza. Have you tried it? I've had pizza done on the grill, and then I've had pizza that was like barbecued chicken with sauce on it. And I liked both. I've rarely had a pizza I didn't like. I don't like goat cheese. So anything too fancy dancy, I kind of at. And anchovies aren't disgusting, but they're not to my taste. At least not in the size they put on a pizza. I wouldn't mind if they stirred one into the sauce, but don't do that either. And otherwise, I'm not picky. Like I said, never met a pizza I didn't like. Not Domino's. Domino's reminds me of college. It reminds me of being broke in college. There's some really good pizza to be had locally. It's not New York, it's not Chicago, but it's not bad for what's here. It's New York style, the thinner crust. And it's so funny. There's good eats to be had, and then people are going to Domino's, and I don't know. Domino's pizza is like a McDonald's hamburger. It's good for what it is, but it's not closely related to the real thing, or what the real thing would look like, or taste like, or smell like. You know, it's fine for what it is, but it's nothing fancy. All pizzas deserve love, Joan. And extra pizzas deserve the most love. I had first time we had boxed pizza like a week and a half ago, I think, and it was Detroit style, which I never had. It was good. I was surprised. It was like this thick on the side. We got the kind you bake in your own oven, and it was sitting in a lined, like cardboard lined with the interior stuff, and the pizza just sat in it and threw the whole thing into the oven. Oh, okay. Domino's, if you're not a takeout person, anyone else cooking is good. And like I said, Domino's isn't bad. It's just, it's not like I'm over here, like I'm having Little Caesars. It's not like I went to, Old Napoli and came back with a pizza. So, fickle is the word, isn't it? There's a Domino's that was up by the laundromat we used to use all the time. And there was this kid who used to hang out in the parking lot. And I think he probably had some challenges. He was about 10 at the time, and he loved cars, and everyone who drove up and all the drivers, he would open their car doors for all the delivery drivers and then talk to them about their cars. He was car obsessed. We went back a couple years later. It's like he's still there. I'm like, what did you hatch? Like, don't you have parents? Didn't anyone notice? Who hangs out in parking lots outside laundromats when they're tweens? I don't know. But yeah, the Domino's reminded me of that. Because it's only like, you can't sit, it's Domino's. So you can walk in and just get a pizza and go like it's fast food. But DiGiorno Detroit style is good. I think that's what we had was DiGiorno. Not delivery. DiGiorno. Yeah, I never met one I didn't like too much. When I lived in Philly, I don't know, prices are different, but even not that different. We used to go to Lorenzo's on South Street. And huge slice. I mean, the plate is this big. The slice would be coming off the end of the plate in this way. The pizzas were huge. And it was $2 a slice. I mean, between that and soft pretzels, that's how I made it through college. And it was delicious. It was so good. I imagine it's more now. South Street's not the destination it used to be. So, but Lorenzo's was there in whatever condition South Street was, whether it was touristy or indie rock or a little more thug or a little more residential. That place was always there. So good. And they have like celebrity signatures on the wall. Will Smith mentions it in one of his songs, the summertime song. Summer, summer, summertime. He mentions the pizza place. Scattered pictures. And if you order a slice, plain slice. No toppings on a single slice. At all. And I think they only have one size of soda. It was cute. I liked it. No. Anyway, I guess we were hungry. All of a sudden, we'll talk about food for 45 minutes. But yeah, I'm only half kept up with Chantal this week because it was so hectic. I was trying to get to bed early, and I'll go to bed early and then Mark will like sleep on the couch mostly. I've gone back a few times, Andy. Like Mark and I have gone back, and it's safer with him because the last memories I had in Philly were all so awful because I was drunk and young and scared and crazy and didn't know what crazy was and didn't know what an alcoholic was either. And so going back again, even this last trip to go see a friend and going back with Mark, it like rewrites new, happier memories over the old shit ones. And so it makes it more of an enjoyable kind of time to go. When first time I went back after about 6-7 years, I was terrified. I didn't want to get out of the car. I thought breathing the air would make me want to drink. But as time goes by, you get older, you get hopefully a little wiser, and it's just a different. I could see living there again now, and building a life that didn't involve party bar liquor store, bar, liquor store, party, that I could find something else to do with myself. So, and the work would be different. I mean, the kind of work I do here, it's like social work. I hire below social work. So you're talking about nobody's getting rich except the guy at the top. So the rest of us just whatever. But pay difference between somewhere like Scranton and somewhere like Philadelphia, a job that pays $30,000 here could pay $50,000 there. Cost of living stuff, but it's still, there's a lot more opportunities. So maybe someday. Maybe someday. We'll see where fate leads us. We did good so far. We're staying here for at least another year. We renewed the lease. So we'll be at least in Scranton for that long. We had our St. Patrick's Day parade up here. It was this last weekend. Actually, Scranton did, and Wilkes-Barre, the sister city down there, had theirs. And it was okay. But I mean, the Scranton parade is huge. It was like 2.5 hours long. And bagpipers all over the streets, and a lot of arrests for drinking. It was pretty rowdy. We don't usually get a lot of foot traffic because we live in a residential, neighborhood, but the University of Scranton is like a block and a half away. So a lot of 20-somethings dressed in green, awfully drunk for 11 a.m. But the parade itself is supposed to be pretty good. My parents watched it on TV, and they came to visit, and they were talking about it. So, Irish descent here. So, I mean, do we celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Wear green, kiss me, I'm Irish, button, clovers. That's about as far as it went for St. Patrick. My favorite saint, or the one I invoke the most, is St. Anthony, because I lose so much shit. I swear, last night I was like, if I ever get a tattoo of a saint on me, St. Anthony. That's what we're getting. St. Anthony. He saved me more times than I can recall. What times I can recall. Ooh, corned beef is good. My parents never did corned beef. Nobody seemed to like the corned beef cabbage deal, but they'd make Reubens. My dad would make a corned beef, and they'd make Reuben sandwiches. And that reminds me of St. Patrick's Day, Reuben sandwiches. Well, it's funny what sticks. It's funny what makes a memory. I have a lot of food memories because I have food issues. So I'll remember things I ate when I was 6. And I couldn't tell you much of my life up until I was about 9. So, for you old heads here, this was originally a weight loss channel. Supposedly have the highest percentage of people of Irish descent in the States. I believe it. There's some weird pockets of places that people ended up settling. Like this area is all Irish, Italian, Eastern European, like Polish and whatever, Slovak, things like that. That's the whole area. There's a large, growing Latin community in Scranton. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's always been a minority of like non-white people in Scranton. It's never been a big thing. There's more now than ever because a lot of folks have moved to Scranton from New Jersey because priced out of their own state. So they move here. The cost of living is cheaper. But they're not necessarily moving here to start a new job. We'll just say that. They're just moving here. So kind of, I don't know, it's different. It's different. You'll hear a lot of Jersey, New York accents around here, even like from the transplants and the people who came. Not the folks who've been here forever. The thick local accent sounds kind of Minnesota-y. Finish cheering. Like, oh, look it. There is a pretty girl. She lives 2 or 3 miles away, right? Oh, look, that's a pretty girl. She lives a couple, 2, 3 miles up the Einen. Doesn't that sound like unintelligible gibberish? But that's what we have up here. There was a whole book called The Anthracite Idiom, because it's anthracite coal is what the area is known for, and the first gravity railroad of some sort. But yeah, scattered pictures. They have a coal mine tour in Scranton. I've never gone on it. I'm guessing it's like New Yorkers who've never been to the Statue of Liberty. I've never gone on a coal mine tour. I'm not big on spelunks and cold, small places, and it's supposed to be fun to go there in the summer because it's always about like 50 degrees down there. It's never hot or it's never cold or it's always the same. But that might get shut down. I think it was part of the Steamtown, the train place. They laid off 6 or 7 people with the firings from the federal places because it was run by the uh, Parks Department or whatever. So when they went through, they decided those jobs didn't matter, so they were let go. So there's probably like a person, a full timer, and a volunteer there at this point. A Youper? I've never heard of a Youper. It's kind of Wisconsin-y. Like, oh God, oh crap. Or if you've ever seen the cartoon Bobby's World, the mother had what is not a Minnesota accent or a Wisconsin accent, but twangier, almost like over to ours. So, Upper Peninsula is a Youper. Oh, okay. I don't have a whole lot of one. My father's from New Jersey, moved from there when he was like 14. My mother's local. She grew up here, lived here her whole life. They both went to school. My dad ended up going to college. Mom finished high school and then did another certification after that. So they were relatively well educated people. I guess they just weren't raised around people who talk like that. Lower Peninsula equals troll. Yeah, they're try to like with American English, like if you're watching the news, you'll still hear regional accents like southern twangs and some urban inflections depending on where it's doing it. But there's a standard version of English that you hear out of Oprah and you hear out of like other celebrities that don't have a distinct twang of what part of the country is this from. Oh. 72 degrees all year long in Arizona. Oof. Arizona. Don't know if I could do Arizona. I don't care if it's a dry heat. Hell is probably a dry heat. Doesn't make it desirable. Not to me. So. Accents are funny. Like I said, my dad doesn't have one. My dad doesn't have a Jersey accent. Like we say, water. Up here, the heavier would be water. And then Philadelphia would be wooder. Or South Jersey, wooder. Wudder. So it's just and how you pronounce things are differently. Like in New York, it's not Houston Street, it's Houston Street, which I always, never understood. So just a thing. And a lot of Native American named things around here because this was what was the name of them? I forget the tribes. Whoever's land we took from here. Oh, you're from Wisconsin, Sean. I'm sorry. But I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. If you have a thing for movies, kitschy movies, the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous is set in Minnesota. And it has Kirstie Alley is the lead in it and Kirsten Dunst. And it's a parody. It's like a spoof on a teenage, princess pageant that they have for teenage girls. And it's a small town where they're doing it. It's ridiculous. Drop Dead Gorgeous is the name of the movie. That woman that was married to Charlie Sheen is in it too. A couple other people. So Massachusetts is ridiculous, Andy. The names of things are so long. Like you try to turn on GPS and drive through like on Mass Pike, and it's screaming out name. It's taking 8 syllables to get the name out of whatever something is. But things are like that in New England, though. Everything is so old. Like when you look at other parts of the state, stuff's like from the 1800s or here or there. Yes, Denise Richards. You're correct. And it's not a judgment good, bad thing, Shauna. It's what it is. That's how folks sound. Around here, it's kind of associated with like a less educated, lower income type accent for locals. There used to be people that my parents called them the tribe, who lived in the town they lived in when they grew up, and they would go back and pick coal off the railroad tracks to heat their home. People still got coal delivered, but they always walked, hence the tribe. Nobody had a car. And they'd go pick coal and come back and Wisconsin Appleton candle lady forever. mm. Mm-mm-mm. Never been to the Midwest. Indiana, that's a lie. That's the closest I got, Indiana. But we have a lot of people we met through the channel who are in Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, like that whole cut right there around the Great Lakes. It'd be worth a road trip sometime. Like, you guys know Mare. Mark's traveled with her before. But we'll see. If we hit the lottery, we'll take a nice spoiled road trip where we take too long to do it and drag our feet and stay in hotels we can't afford. Something like that. I don't have plans, Andy. I think what we're going to be doing, I have to do some housekeeping because I wasn't getting as attentive as I should have with being busy. So, little housekeeping. We'll probably film. I think we have a video we're going to plan to do for tomorrow night. Mark has to work, but probably only till about noon. So, oh, the camper. Upper Peninsula. That'd probably be the furthest. Now, I can go through lower, like Michigan. Is there a bridge, or do I have to go inland, like through Minnesota, and come back through the top to go to the peninsula? Because you can tell I know shit about fuck when it comes to some places. I love geography. That doesn't mean I'm great at it. It just means I like it. So, there's a bridge. Oh, good. Otherwise, I think you'd have to take like a puddle jumper or something. All I can picture are those little two-engine planes or single-engine planes that land in rural Alaska. You know, it's all a matter of like perspective, though. Like, the area around here is small town, certainly, but it's not rural. It's not agriculture. It's not cows. It's not farms. My mom went away to school in New York City when it was like in the 60s. And people were like, oh my God, do you have to order your stuff out of catalogs? Where do you get food? You know, because they're city folks. They didn't understand that, you know, just because it's not Manhattan, it doesn't mean that it's the prairie. You know, there's shades of living. And like I said, small town boy, but I didn't grow up with horses and cows and ATVs, but I also didn't grow up with cabs and subways and all that other kind of stuff either. It's just a different way to grow up. So, not that road. Edna. I just saw Edna pop in, I think. She'd be lurking. Edna be lurking. Road trip would be good. Break in the new car. New to us car. It's supposed to do very good on the interstate as far as gas mileage goes. It's a very lightweight car. It's relatively small. It only has a 10-gallon tank. But it allegedly gets 30 to 40 miles a gallon on the highway. We'll see. We'll see. But it'd be nice. Went to Indiana. We just kind of planned it and went. We saved up a bunch of money and then took 10 days and I took time off work and we just went and had a good time. We have the one we got through Carvana. It was in the video. I think it's a Nissan Versa, a hatchback. Hello, Panda. How are you? We have a Nissan Versa hatchback. So it's like a little car. 2016. And it had like in the 60s of the thousands of miles. What I was looking at more was how long can I drive this car? How long will it last me? So there was fewer frills. You know, there's no heated seats. We bought heated seats, but there was no heated seats or anything. There's power windows, backup camera, that stuff, but no extra frills. And it's just enough for now. Maybe next car we'll do something fancy. But for now, this will get us here to there. So I guess we'll manage. We're lucky. How many people have a hard time getting around or don't get around? Yeah, we were fortunate. Thank God we had insurance, really. Otherwise, we'd have been screwed. So, and gap protection to cover the difference of the loan. I don't know. I'll always get buyer's remorse with cars too, because I've only bought a handful of them. and always as an adult. Like, I didn't buy my first car in my own name until I was 30, I think. So it was a little bit of a delayed start. And that was a 2000. Now, I bought this thing in like 2013, I guess. It was a Chevy Prism. So like Geo Prism, before Chevy bought Geo, it was like the Geo Prism, like the little tiny car. And it had 155,000 miles on it when I got it. That's the one that we took to Indiana, though. You know, we got that car, and then I had just gotten my license back at that point because it had been suspended when I was on probation. And that was ending right around that time, the 2013, 2014 time. So that was a busy time. 2014, Mark and I got together. We moved into our own place. I think, went on a road. Like, we did a lot of stuff that year. A lot of stuff. The whole road trip we went on, we weren't dating. We were just friends. And it was so nice, and it was so chill. It was a good part of the friendship. There was no, like, weird sexual chemistry or anything. Nothing at the time, because we were just buddies. So it was so nice and relaxed. You know, we'd always get a hotel with 2 beds and crash out. It'd be just so nice. To the point where we still do. If we get a hotel, we get 2 beds. I need to sprawl out. I need my life. I need my space. Need a big bed. No? That's what we do. But yeah, it's seriously in my head. We should go on a trip. And as long as we have a car, we should drive. So we'll see. We'll see if we make it to Wisconsin. Now, I'm thinking Upper Peninsula, and I'm thinking Canada. And I'm thinking I could be in Foodie's neck of the woods in about 4 hours. But there's really nothing to see. And I think French Fry Girl has already done a few driving tours of popular Chantal haunts. So I think there's really probably nothing left to show. And once she comes back from her to do visa stuff and ends up and we happen to run into her, I don't think I would happen to run into Chantal. I can't imagine under what circumstances I would just happen to run into Chantal. Maybe if they open like a Derviner Schnitzel at the airport, you know, we might cross paths and travel. Both stopping for some. But anyone else have anything interesting and exciting coming up? The weekend is upon us. I know a lot of folks work. I'm a 9-to-5-er, Monday to Friday, luckily. Only a few times, like this week, did the hours change. So, last week was murder. I had to go out to Hazleton, and I had to be there for 7, so I had to get up at like 5 and leave here at like 5:30 to get there in time. And it was a methadone clinic that I was going to. And they're not, you know, not everyone's super chipper at a methadone clinic at 7 o'clock in the morning, if you can imagine. So trying to solicit people to get, you know, consumer feedback was tough. So, you know, we did what we could, I guess. But that was what I was doing this morning, too. I went to another place. We're surveying that level of care, methadone, Suboxone, medication-assisted treatment. So I have to find all the providers that have it around here who take XYZ insurance, and then talk to the people who have that insurance and say, are you getting the treatment that your insurance company is paying for? And if you're not, how are you not getting it? And then reports get generated. One goes to the insurance company, one goes to the provider, and they get to find out, you know, from the patient perspective, what's working and what's not. And not just a big bunch of charts. There's a bunch of actuals in it that are written out full hand, like longhand. So it's fun. They're not fun reports to review. All those it's alphabet soup, so it all starts to look the same. Everything's an acronym. Everything. So, but last week it was early, and it was my long Friday. Every other Friday I had a half day off, but last Friday I had to work at our drop-in center, and I had to close. It was 4:30. It's not terrible, but I had been going since like 5. So by that afternoon, I was like bloodshot, half open eyes, drinking coffee, and all it was doing was making my heart pound. It wasn't waking me up anymore. I plan to sleep in at least one day. An embarrassingly late sleep in. Like, just before noon, I might get up or something. And like I said, tomorrow's like having an extra day to myself, because Mark won't be here. He'll be up and out early. So, he didn't get home late tonight. He's usually home before, like, 4. But, he got home tonight around 5, which is a little late. Thursday is his long day. The start early, go late day. So, but like he's in a medical practice. They take Wednesdays off, shit like that. So, we do not. I work for a nonprofit, so we do not get Wednesdays off. Smoke break. I do have to confess, over the last week, I've had a couple more cigarettes than I would have otherwise. I'm down to about 3 a day. And that's been consistent for a couple months, 3 a day. And then, the vape to get through. And the vape lasts me a week. So, pretty much since Mark still smokes, I don't even buy cigarettes. I just take 3 out of his pack. And then I have them for the day. 1 for the walk to work, 1 at lunch, 1 for the walk home. Because when it's work-related stress, a vape just doesn't touch it. I need the real lung burn, the asbestos and fiberglass. I need to feel it so it can ease the pain. But I had to borrow a cigarette from a coworker because I didn't have any. So that's been good, I have to say. I don't have a smoker's cough anymore. Even though I'm still minimally smoking and vaping, I don't have a smoker's cough in the morning. The heavy, junky, it took about 6 months, but it's gone. I still have whiskey voice, which is whatever. That's fine. So we'll see. I gained some weight when I quit smoking, but not as much as I was worried that I would gain, because I have the capacity to be very fat if I don't keep an eye on it. Very, very fat. Like pushing 300 fat. Now, mind you, other people that we all keep in our circle who are 5'1" and 400 plus pounds makes it feel like it's not that bad to be in the high 2s and be 6 feet tall. But any amount of extra weight's no good. And the older I'm getting, it's just harder to move anyway. Take weight off my knees, weight off my hips, to just drop some weight. I'm mostly top heavy, stomach and chest. Everything else is kind of normal sized. So I'm like a walking candied apple. And it's getting stranger as I'm getting older. So we're going to put our attention to some healthy choices and probably eating a little bit less and see if, some things come off. I'm not making an intentional plan or detoxing or anything like that, but I'm just trying to stay aware of the fact that I'm not at the weight I would like to be. And so let's try to do something today, at least a little healthy, to move the needle towards my goal. So that's the position we're in right now. That's why we have a piece of pizza and an orange and a couple pretzels rather than 2 pieces of pizza and a little cheesy thing on the side. Just trying to replace the bad with the better. Not perfect, but better. So. I should show you guys how much respect I have for you by blowing the smoke in your face, just like Shandy does. At any rate. It'd be an easy trip, I-75, the whole way till you cross the bridge. Then you just almost all the way there. That sounds fine. I like driving. I'm not a speed demon. I'm an overly cautious driver, but I do like to drive. We're just going to get there at 56 miles an hour the whole way. So we should probably leave a few days early if we're going to try to get there, especially if I'm going to be the one doing the driving. So Mark's not a bad driver necessarily. He drives differently. He's from Pittsburgh, so he has more of a city suburb kind of approach to driving, where mine's a little more laid back, closer to country. As long as we get there, the best way to be on time is to leave early, not speed. So it's a different way of kind of looking at stuff, I guess. Mark's idea is to be late, and then speed the way there. Mine's to leave early and be there early. To me, on time is late. I like to be a little early for everything. Doctor's appointments, work, anything. Just how I roll. But so the rest of the evening's plan for self-care, I'm going to watch. I found WWE, used to be WWF Wrestling, on YouTube. They have a vault, WWE Vault. So it has old wrestling specials from and events and pay-per-views from when I was a kid, from like the early 90s. And I hear the music, I see the quality of the film, and I'm right back there. It's the same thing as playing video games or the old 8-bit games. So I'm going to treat myself to watching some crap wrestling from 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, and enjoy that. Mark's probably going to go out to do some shopping or something, so I'll have the place to myself. I've been bonding more with Oscar. Kitty butt. That's the way to his heart, is through his butt. You have to scratch the top of his butt. And it doesn't look like he's enjoying it, but he will not leave you alone after you do it. So I've been bonding with him, and I've been making it a point to pet and chin scratch Bandit at least once a day, every day. And he's getting okay with it. He doesn't immediately go to bite me or claw me. And every time I do it, he lets me do it a little longer. So spend some time bonding with the animals would be nice. So yeah, shitty old wrestling, maybe video games, a lot of Diet Pepsi, and that's going to be my Thursday. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to fall asleep in the chair by like 9:30 and then wake up tomorrow at like noon. I didn't even have a chance to enjoy my day off. I slept through the whole goddamn thing. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm feeling it. So goes. This week was the busiest. Next week, I really don't have as much to do. I spend more time in the office. I would say about half the work I have to do as far as talking to people is on the phone, and then like half is face-to-face. Today was all face-to-face. I completed 20 face-to-face surveys from consumers about the services they're getting. I was at a methadone clinic this morning and then an inpatient psych unit this afternoon. And you meet all kinds of people, of course. So, and it's fun because if they look nervous or they look embarrassed, I'm like, I'm a peer specialist. I've been in facilities. That's how I get to do this job. I've been in all sorts of inpatient, outpatient, uppatient, downpatient, and everything that goes with it. And that usually helps people relax a little bit and maybe talk about things they wouldn't talk about, as far as being honest about how things are going. Most people will say, oh, treatment's fine, everything's fine, we're good. And then every once in a while you get someone who says, something happened. Some incident happened, and you're the first person I'm telling. So then what do you do? Well, do you go to the director? Do I call the boss first and see if we need to escalate it? Do I have to call, I'm a mandated reporter. So if, things are happening, I have to say something. Or I'm supposed to say something. So we'll see. We haven't been hit hard, or we haven't been hit at all yet with any of the government funding that was getting slashed. It rolls downhill. SAMHSA lost quite a bit of money, and a lot of our money starts the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration. Falling down from there goes to the next place, to us, and it filters down this way. So that money being gone means that there's fewer programs, fewer grants, fewer contracts, less money going out, which means if there's less money to pay people, and so places fire or lay off. So we'll see how far that goes. I know at the top of the pyramid there was a chunk taken out of it, but we'll see. A lot of the stuff comes through the state, but again, that starts at the top too. So we'll see. We'll see. All the people I do, are contracted with Medicaid. So everyone I speak with has Medicaid wherever they live. And because I do behavioral health services, I'm talking to people who all have the same managed care organization. So even if they have Medicaid across the whole state, the region they're in is the ones I try to talk to. And that could affect treatment too if they end up cutting into Medicaid. So we'll see what the future brings. It'd be in my best interest to lose some weight and be healthy, because I think it'll be very expensive to be sick. It's being very expensive to want eggs, let alone be sick. So we'll see how things go. It feels so weird, guys. Like, it feels like, how am I just going to work and we're chatting and going through the motions? And if I take a breath and look around, it feels like the world's burning down around me. And yet we're good. I don't know. I can't get sucked into the insanity of what seems to be happening, but I can't ignore it and consider myself a good citizen. But I can't get sucked into it, because if I get too sucked into it, I get like upset. I get upset. Doom scrolling, I think they call it, when you're on like Facebook or like TikTok maybe, and it's just bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news. And then something from The Onion pops up and, more bad news. So I have 2 family members that work. It's under, I think, the National Institute of Health, and they took an axe to their stuff. And the relatives I have who work for the government, work for the federal government in science and IT. So we'll see. We'll see. They were responsible people. They always have been. So they're not going to be they're the kind of people that actually have that 6 months emergency money sitting, probably 9, sitting around to cover themselves. They're both really well-educated professionals with long career histories. So they'll be fine. But what a hassle for no reason. You're good at your job. We just, we want innovation, which means we'll take any dumb young person over someone that's been here 20 years. So we'll see. At least I'm not bitter. At least I'm not bitter. But, it hits everywhere. You think you see stuff on the news, and it's like, well, that won't impact me. And then it's like, well, all of a sudden, people I know in different places, it's affecting them. And they weren't the kind of people that, like, deserve to have bad things happen, We'll see. We'll see. I guess. We'll be here for it. Right up to the rapture, we'll still be here streaming. So it's okay. We'll be here anyway. I was half keeping up with Foodie Beauty because her politics are so... She pulls them out of her ass. It's a mixture of things she sees online and shit that her husband probably yells in her ear and says to his friends. So she doesn't really have any. She was, pro-Palestinian, and then she was anti-America because she said, there was the conflict with, calling Canada the 51st state, and, they're not thrilled with that. So she was defending Canada, but then she's defending the West, but also saying the West is invading her. So, I mean, obviously she doesn't think too hard through her talking points. She just says things to say them, but Canada's looking pretty good. Justin Trudeau, I think, is gone now. They have a new prime minister coming in. So if Justin Trudeau's not there, the appeal isn't there for me. I'm sorry. He's just too dreamy for words. We see pictures of him when he was younger. He was like pretty boy cute. I know people say he has a big nose, but I don't really care. I don't know. So, but I think it was last time we had talked. If you put up against Zelensky, the guy from Ukraine, and Justin Trudeau, those are the 2 best looking political leaders, I think, that I've seen in a while. There's a really, really cute retired House Republican from Minnesota. I forget his name. He was on the January 6th committee, and he is just smoking. He's got big arms, good, looks like a gym coach kind. So, like I said, we only really watch news and stuff like that. So the only people, if I'm like, they're the closest thing to a celebrity crush I'll have is that I like Justin Trudeau. When did I get so old? When did this happen? Well, it is what it is. I have to say, though, I try not to watch too much cable. I try to read my news rather than watch it because it's like less upsetting. But reading the news still has its, you can't get away. There's no such thing as unbiased and writing in journal. It's the goal. It should be the goal to do, but it's not achievable. Everyone, by virtue of being human, has their own bias they write into their work, whether it's their art or their profession or anything like that. So it's going to just be built in, I suppose. Well, we ate all the fruit, and then there's crust and a couple pretzels left. And that's the extent of dinner tonight. So that's all we got going on. I have to say, it's been nice to chit-chat. It's nice to talk about something with people that doesn't involve employment, something just BS. It's nice to hang out and do not a whole bunch of anything. So I had a good time tonight. I hope you guys had a good time too. Again, I checked into the stuff with the ads being put in. It's just a lot of it's out of your control at this point. It's one of the decisions YouTube made, like placing ads in unmonetized channels to make themselves some revenue. I think it's falling along the same line. They used to say, let us put ads in and it'll generate, we'll put them at natural breaks where you'll get the most views. But if you take a look back manually where they put the ads in a live like this, there's one like every 4 minutes. Yeah, that'll make a lot of money, but it's fucking hell to watch. And not everybody has YouTube with no commercials. Most people don't. Like 9 out of 10 people don't have premium or whatever. So, whatever. I don't know. Bad wrestling and video games. That's what I know. So thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you all for watching. Please do hit the thumbs up on your way out if you'd be so inclined. We're on Facebook, Instagram, not Twitter anymore, and maybe Blue Sky coming soon. I have to do a little more legwork with that. All our contact info is listed below as well. Thank you, and we will be back, I'm going to say tomorrow, safely, with a video. And then we'll see about Saturday, and then Sunday another Foodie Beauty video. So we're going to have a recorded video for her this week. So thank you all for being here. Much appreciated. Y'all are good company, and good listeners too. So have a good night, and take care. Bye.